The International Jugglers Association is devoted to spreading the diversity, the artistry, and the individual achievement that make up the juggling movement. 4 times a year, the International Jugglers Association publishes Jugglers World magazine, covering the current stars, the cutting-edge creators, tricks of the trade, tour dates, props and prop makers, performance techniques, biographies of jugglers from the past, schedules and details about meetings, festivals, workshops, affiliates, and schools. IJA members also receive a membership roster listing names and addresses of all members. Every year, over 1,000 jugglers, variety artists, unicyclists, physical comedians, and juggling fans gather to share their achievements and to learn new skills at the annual IJA Juggling Festival. If you'd like to become an IJA member and join over 3,000 fellow jugglers and juggling fans, send your name, address, and telephone number and age along with $25 for an annual individual membership to the address on the screen. For more information or to conveniently charge your membership on Visa or MasterCard, call 216-745-3552.
From the campus of UCLA in Westwood, California, the International Jugglers Association presents highlights of the 1990 IJA Juggling Festival. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Bosco, and I've been asked to narrate this year's highlight tape. I was there and saw it all. Every summer, jugglers from around the country and around the world come together to share their skills and to learn all they can from some of the best jugglers in the world. They come for the shows, the games, the workshops, and the competitions. They come to try out the latest in juggling props and to make a few new friends. It's time for amateurs, young and old, from all walks of life, to mingle with the professionals, and for the professionals to mingle with each other. And there was a lot of mingling going on. But most of all, it's a time to forget about everything else and totally immerse in this fascinating art. So sit back and enjoy some of the highlights of the 43rd Annual IJA Juggling Festival.
Rolling down Imperial Highway, big ass headed at my side, Saturday the wind blowing hot from the north. We were born to ride. Roll down the window, put down the top, crank up the Beach Boys band, don't let the music stop. Go right if you want, just stay right if you want. From the side, everybody, from the west side, east side, everybody very happy, 'cause the sun is shining all the time, like another perfect day. I love it. We love it. We love it.
The first day was basically an orientation day. Jugglers got settled in their rooms and headed for check-in at the Pauley Pavilion.
379.
3846.
3846. Great. Are you going to do any of the games with the IJA?
I'll give you your latest issue of Jugglers World. What's your zip code?
Very nice. We have our 2-player shows. Holly Heat.
Yeah, something like that. 44129.
IJA members picked up their t-shirts and pins, and open juggling ensued. Later that evening, there was a welcome party where old friends got together and new friends were made.
Come in, they always get their French wine, and that's all that it takes. Now he's trying to get 3 juggling glasses here.
Okay.
Oh, I like the way that feels.
You gonna bite me? I'll bite you back.
The next day, things really got underway, with open juggling all day, which included some impromptu shows and demonstrations. You know, one of the great things about the festival are the ongoing workshops. This year, there were over 35 workshops running almost continuously throughout the festival. Workshops on everything from devil sticks to Diablos to the physics of juggling. In fact, there is some going on right now. Let's take a look.
Juggling is my life. This is the most fun I have is when I'm doing my work. And my work is teaching people how to juggle. So for me, this is a mission. When I teach 5 balls the easy way, the approach is to break it down into the smallest possible steps because it's a difficult skill. Teaching 5 balls is difficult. And when people throw 5, they look up and they go, what the heck is that? What is all that stuff? So I take the difficult skill of juggling 5 balls and I break it down into the smallest possible steps and build it up again step by step, removing the fear of dropping by having them juggle with a partner. And it's that partner who takes away the fear that they're going to drop. And a lot of people are kind of nervous about dropping. I say dropping is a sign of progress, and a touch is as good as a catch.
In this popular workshop, Alan Jacobs instructs a group in the art of club swinging.
Use the ring grip.
Novice club jugglers get some excellent advice in this beginning club juggling workshop.
It's purely in the wrist. So what I want you to do is take the wrist out of it and do just this. I want the club to do the work. Okay? It's an expensive club, so make it work. Okay? So what I want you to do is throw.
I'm Laura Green. I'm the Championships Director of the International Jugglers Association. For the 1990 competitions this year on the junior level, we tried something new. We started with preliminaries, and then we made a final cut, and it was only the top junior competitors that went on to the finals for the evening competition. In the afternoon, we had a showcase of young talent, where all of the juniors had an opportunity to get up on that stage and perform for almost 1,000 camp kids. It was really an amazing event.
That evening, the junior championships were held in the Ackerman Ballroom.
We had 9 young jugglers enter. The preliminary judges made a very difficult choice and narrowed our field down to 6. So what you're about to see when you watch the junior competitions is the best of the best.
And the best of the best were Robin Chestnut from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Sean McKinney. And from Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania, Matt Ponce de Leon. Taking third place from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Brian Katz. Placing second was Joe Purcell from Fairfax, Virginia.
And in first place, the gold, the 1990 junior champion, the IJA, Chuck Gunter.
We asked Chuck how he prepared for these championships.
Okay, yeah, well, first we went to Vegas, you know, about 5 days before the competition. And this had, like, the most help, you know, for the competition and everything. Stayed with Nick Gatto, Anthony's father, of course, and watched Anthony practice and got to find out how everything was done. And so whenever he got here, I was already, you know, adjusted to the time, which was one good thing. Yeah, since March, I've been spending, you know, I'd go up for a week at a time over to my coach, Benji Hill, and we worked, you know, on just the basics of the act up until the last, like, month and a half or 2 months, and then we put the rest of it together, and we practiced it and we ran it, and I performed it like once before I got here, you know, just to prepare to see how it would seem. So, you know, that helped me out a whole lot considerably, you know. And so whenever I got here, that was like the best preparation I could have, and it went really good.
When I was 3, I was to fly. I'm jumping, I move my legs, and it's hard to dance while I gather days. I'm moving like a fool in my breath, dance from all east to forward
competitors a big hand, folks. Thank you very much for coming. I'll see you folks at Renegade. Good night.
It's midnight. And why have all these people gathered?
The first convention I went to was in Santa Barbara, and I guess that's where the term renegade was formed. And it was mostly formed out of maybe a kind of a rebellious mood among some of the jugglers. In regards to the setup of the convention. And then in San Jose, we also got the idea that there really is no chance for a lot of the performers to perform at the convention, that there really is no medium for people other than 5-minute Las Vegas acts to really display their talent, other than in the gym, you know, by themselves, right? So then we thought we should have a stage, and so we figured it should be called the Renegade Stage, right? And then from that point on, everyone really liked the Renegade Stage, and so we continued to do it.
I would like to thank everyone for coming to the first night of Renegade here at UCLA! Trying to pronounce my badge earlier. My name is Ungayo. Everybody say that. Say Ungayo. 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 Kind of makes you want to get naked and dance around a fire. Ungayo. Ungayo. Just me. Okay. It's yo-yo time. It's yo-yo time. It's yo-yo time. Yo-yo time. Crazy out with one skin. It's yo-yo time. Yo-yo time. Praise about this boy of mine. It's yo-yo time. Get on, get around, kids, young and old. Let's rock the baby. Perfect too. Really blow it. We slow. You sure know how to yo-yo. It's yo-yo time. It's yo-yo time. It's yo-yo time. It's yo-yo time. Praise God, this boy of mine. It's yo-yo time. 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 Praise God, this boy of mine. Workshops Thursday and Friday, and give a big hand to Stu Crump for writing that song right there. Thank you.
The next morning, it was back to business as the IJA members got a chance to meet with the board of directors, ask questions, and offer suggestions at the annual IJA business meeting.
So what we try and do is look for the best overall facility. That best overall facility happens to be a small town, so certainly give it some strong consideration.
Workshops taking place today included this advanced club passing class hosted by expert club passer Martin Frost.
It wasn't even random yet. I mean,
That collision gives me a brief moment to explain one difficulty with the 10 club feed. And that is that when you're sweeping, when the feeder is sweeping toward his left, the people who are throwing have to make sure their throws are high enough and not outside so that the feeder can throw under their pass to the next feedee. Otherwise you get that collision. And that's what happened.
Then, there was this basic club passing workshop where beginners are guided through the technique of passing 6 clubs.
1 and 2 and throw, and 1 and 2. This class is for people who already know how to juggle 3 clubs, and we're moving them on from 3 clubs into interactive juggling. And I really believe that a lot of the best stuff in juggling comes when you can interact and when you can throw things back and forth. So what we're working on now is juggling 6 clubs between 2 people. And of course you don't start with 6, you start with 1 and then go into 2 and then 3 and 4 and 5 and then eventually to 6. The end result, however, is that you can throw 6 clubs back and forth with confidence. Eventually you may get into diagonal throws or left-hand throws, but this is what you want to start with. Once you can do that with 1, then you can do it with 2. And let me borrow these, please. What you'll do is you put that club in your left hand, throw it to your right hand, and throw it to me. Now we're not only establishing the path, but we're also learning how to do a couple of things in sequence. We're learning how to throw to ourselves and throw to the other person, and throw to ourselves and throw to the other person. And we're also beginning to build up a rhythm between us so that we're working together. Now after we can do that, we can move right on to 4 clubs, 2 apiece. Now this is the step that you guys taught me last year that has been very helpful to me. Is this one of the things that you wanted to bring out? Okay, so take your second.
It was my 3rd day here, and I figured this was as good a time as any to check out the latest in juggling apparatus. So I went out on the floor to talk to the vendors and prop makers. This is what I found.
We got penguins. These are the flying penguini. Penguins for juggling.
These are deer skin. I like beanbag because the beanbag is good for the beginners. If you try to miss it, you can pick up like this. You don't miss it. And nice and squeaky, nice.
Then we have torches. Put a little flame on it.
Rainbow spinning basin. Wonderful for audience participation. You give it to any kid, all he has to do is have enough strength to hold it straight, and the basin will be spinning on top.
Cigar boxes.
They're made out of flexible polyurethane foam.
I'm thinking like a couple.
There's a hardwood dowel inside for reinforcement, if you want one that doesn't have a hardwood dowel in it.
The most popular item, I think, has been the glue ball. And a lot of people come up and they say, what do you do with it and what's it for? And I can't answer that because I really
And I think I found a whole new angle on selling bean bags. Don't stuff them. Sell them to the people directly, unstuffed.
This one is from the jogger bag. It's called body ball. Yeah. This kind of play like frisbee. The 2 persons go hit each other.
Swiss Diablo. Now you may say, oh, that devil stick is too big to fit in my grip. Well, just break it down. It packs up easily.
It's actually invented sort of by accident. The guy was cutting out a pattern in carpet, and the edges of it puckered up. And so, hey, it's like a rugby there. Stitched the edges, and there it is. Keeps it shaped pretty well. Keeps the gums on the dogs from bleeding.
And IGA.
There was also a large contingent of yo-yoists present this year, including some of the best in the world.
My name's Dale Meyerberg. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. I've been playing with yo-yos since I was about 5 years old. I'm 48 years old now. I do a lot of work professionally. And now I'm here at UCLA at the Jugglers Convention. This is the first time I've been to the Jugglers Convention, but I'm having a real good time here.
As usual, juggling was ongoing in the pavilion as anticipation was building for the Senior Championships, the next big event.
To be in the IJA championships, you're expected to be able to present an act that is professional in all levels, professional in all ways, professional in technique and in performance. Both aspects are judged. The technique is stressed in our competitions. There is a general percentage break of 60% for technique presentation and 40% for performance presentation. There is a board of judges from all walks of juggling life so that we can get a nice spread of expertise. There are preliminaries where the act is presented in front of a set of different judges, all though with the same expertise, and they look at an act to guarantee that this act will present an entertaining and potentially competitive level of entertainment. The preliminaries are run on the day before the championships, and the finals are limited to 8 positions. These positions do not necessarily have to be filled, however. If there are fewer than 8 acts that the judges believe can truly compete with each other and are professional enough to appear in this venue, then fewer than 8 acts will be included in the championships. We are definitely looking for a fully professional and entertaining evening.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 1990 edition of the International Jugglers Association's Senior National Individual and Team Championships.
The senior championships are always a highlight of the week's activities, and this year was no exception. Oddly enough, there were only 2 teams that qualified for the finals. Second place this year went to 2-time previous winners, the Raspini brothers.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be in Los Angeles tonight as one of the 2 participants in the team championship.
It's nice to be in any competition where you can finish last and still go home with second place.
All right. You know, we want to start by showing you a difficult display of passing using 6 Indian clubs.
Wait, something is different.
Good Lord, something's changed.
Oh, what could it be? We're talking like geeks.
No, shut up. Oh. Ah. All right, one more thing. Okay, that's enough. Hey, thank you guys very much, man. Thanks, fellas. Darn good and funny are coming up. Watch out.
And it goes without saying that first place is darn good and funny.
We had no expectation for the response.
We kind of thought they'd like it.
Yeah, but we're still humble. We're very humble people. And the way we look at it, we came in second to last, and I think that's the way we're going to keep looking at it. So.
there were 8 competitors in the individual lineup. From Paris, France, Arsène. From Nashville, Tennessee, Barry John. From Seattle, Washington, Jason Garfield. From Los Angeles, California, Tyler Lincoln. From Galveston, Pennsylvania, Bob Nickerson. And taking 3rd place this year, from Sherman Oaks, California, Dan Holtzman. Finishing in 2nd place, from Mexico City, Mexico, Carlos Rodriguez.
Our senior national champion and winner of the Lucas Cup, ladies and gentlemen, may I present Mark Neiser.
I decided to enter the championships on Wednesday afternoon. I was a little late getting there because I just got in from London. And Jazz, who's from New York, he said, hey, you should enter the championships. So I ran over to the preliminaries, and they were nice enough to let me juggle, although I didn't have any my real equipment with me. So I just borrowed a tape from Janet Jackson and put it on and just juggled some stuff. very much. How you doing? My name's Mark. It's been a while since I've seen everybody. Seemed like a great audience tonight. A lot of people wonder how long I've been juggling. Oh, about 2 minutes now. Wow, you're a great crowd if that got a laugh. Anyway, I'd like to continue right now. I'd like to take one of the white balls, throw it 10 feet in the air, and catch it on the dent in my forehead. Here we go. You're easily amused out there, I can tell already. Oh, it's okay. That's how I got the dent. Oh, I'm so glad you guys can laugh at my pain. Thank you. Yeah, you can't treat this with Clearasil. And now it's time for ear suction. No, it's all right. Don't clap. I can't hear you. You know, the best part of this show is, in this trick, is if I do it really good, I can go all the way through. But of course, the real secret is to spray your head with Pam before you do it. Or else get a magnetic ball and put steel plates in your head. Go to the beach and guys with metal detectors think they found the mother lode. Thank you. Pushing myself to my limits. I'm going to try to spin 3 balls, one on my right index finger, a second on my left index finger, and a third on this stick. At the same time, do a back somersault. You don't care, do you? 12 years with no social life and you really don't care. Well, I'm going to try to do this trick, but it is kind of a special trick to me because in 1984 I did compete in the U.S. National Juggling Championships. It was a real test for me. I guess this kind of thing is for any performer. I was a little disappointed I got 2nd place, but apparently I did bad on the written portion. So let's see if we can do better. Sure you want to see this trick? It's really not that good. Shall we try it again? No chance! This next trick I'd just like to attribute to Trixie LaRue, my idol. She taught me this. I'd like to, here goes. We love Trixie, don't we? We love that girl.
It's midnight. And why are all these people gathering again?
Could be time for another hook, gentlemen. Here comes the clap.
But thou remain a common felon.
Wait, Jazz, you come in here, you totally wrecked my act and made a fool out of me, and now we only have 5 minutes left.
Oh, 5 minutes! We haven't even done the flaming torches.
And remember, if it was any better than this, it wouldn't be Claude Renegade. Good night.
Thank you very much. Good night.
The next day, jugglers had a chance to meet and talk with Chris Cremo, internationally renowned juggler who took a leave from the Lido in Paris to be special guest performer at this year's public show.
It's great. I haven't been long enough here yet, actually, to say too much about it. But I just saw everybody practicing in there, and it's a great ambiance. Nice, everybody is working on it. I've never seen it like that, so it's quite impressive, actually.
I had a chance to talk to Chris about his juggling career.
I was born in Paris in 1951, and my father was a juggler, Bela Cremo. He was the 3rd generation of artists. They used to be acrobats, and he used to have juggling as a hobby. When he was 20 years old, he left the family doing a juggling act and created the style which I took over then. He taught me juggling when I was 5 years old, and I traveled with my parents until I was 8. Then I went to school in Switzerland until I was 18, 19, and I kept practicing all that time. And my father would let me come to him during vacations, holidays, and he would double check on what I practiced and learned so far, and would give me new tricks to work on.
You said you liked him that way?
And then after school, finished school, and I did an apprenticeship in Switzerland. I went on tour with my father for 5 years, traveled all Europe, Asia, Africa, and that was the time I was practicing all day long, and he was teaching me new things. And in 1975, I left my father. He worked for another 2 years by himself and retired then, and I went on. First 1975 in England I worked, and in Germany. And then the end of 1976, I went to the Lido in Paris, and from there to the Lido in Las Vegas, and stayed there for 12 years. And then the last 18 months I was in Japan and opened 4 months ago a new Lido show in Paris.
Chris Cremo looked on as competitors attempted to qualify for tomorrow's numbers competition.
There are preliminaries for numbers. and only the top 3 qualifiers from each prop are allowed to continue into the championships. Now this year there has been a change. The championships are not being held as a stage event. They're being held as part of the games, which are held here on Saturday in the main pavilion. There will be 3 qualifiers from each prop who will compete in front of an audience.
Down at the end of the pavilion, the IJA auction was taking place. This was a chance for people to bid on rare memorabilia or get some good deals on gifts and props donated by many of the manufacturers.
$20 on the roll of votes. Yeah, $25 on the roll of votes. $30 on the roll of votes. $30.
Outside, there were more workshops. Here, Robert Nelson, better known as the Butterfly Man, one of the best street performers in the world. What? Who wrote this anyway? Gives away all his secrets to an appreciative crowd.
My personal feeling is that if you're going to prepare for the street, you do it. The very first thing you do is to get a prop stand. You have to be portable. It's a very important thing. The easier it is to transport your stuff in and out of the situation, the quicker it is to get there and be ready, and also the quickest to leave.
Jeff Demont has his hands full teaching this box workshop.
You flip that one, you grab these as 3 separate ones, and then try to flip that one separately.
Right. Well, I know that wasn't the right idea, but that's right.
Yeah, you need to let them
without having it flipped yet.
Just let them all slide. Grab the middle one, do 1 trap, and the final one. With a lot of 4-box tricks, basically if the 2 that end up in the center are not together to begin with, sometimes you need to do a 3-box catch and catch one finally. So one thing that I worked on, this is a basic takeout, where these 2 end up in the center. Now also with my right hand I can take out this box.
That would be nice. Ah, okay.
Dan Holtzman and his friends demonstrate the devil sticks.
Okay, and the other demonstrators. All right, going up. All right, cool. What's your name? John's going to demonstrate some tricks for us. He's got modeling the very nice Renegade devil stick. That's nice. Put both hands, take the one hand. Pirouette. Use body to chase the devil stick. Hey, there we go. Another nice thing is to try to create
Inside, Laura Green gives some pointers on new 3-ball tricks for beginners.
Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left, right. Keep it like that. Don't do anything else. No. What are you doing? No.
One's the left. I can't control the left.
My left hand is like totally
It doesn't want to do what I want it to do.
You just have to practice.
Yes.
It's hundreds of hours.
Hours.
Okay, let me see your left hand.
Look.
No. Jeez, you got a really bad spastic problem there.
I know.
Okay, so this is what you want to do. You have to strengthen the left.
Paul Bachman and friends do a ball bouncing workshop.
We jugglers want to come to this convention and learn as much as possible. Andy has some ideas to show us. Let's all watch and see what he could do here.
You can add a force bounce to a lift bounce. See, when I'm doing this, if I do it slow enough, I have a long time to hold onto the ball. Instead of holding onto it, I can just slap it to the floor and it comes back.
Danny made a suggestion here. We should have shown it over here on the concrete, but we have to do with what we have here this far. One thing, everybody looks at jugglers throwing balls up in the air. You know how many hundreds of patterns there is. Really, in essence, there's just as many, if not more, on the floor because you've got another prop to work with.
One of the best attended workshops each year is the three-ball demonstration, where participants are invited to show their best and newest moves, and there's always some surprises.
Combination of all the different aspects when you're putting together your three-ball work. The characterization, the body movements, the facial expressions, and also after you develop a routine to choreograph into music. We got one of the best choreographers in the juggling field with us, and he wanted to do a nice ball piece for us, Mr. Michael Manez.
That evening, there was the Starlight Dance, with plenty of live music, food, and drink, as jugglers prepared for the last and biggest day of the festival.
You said your number would be?
About 142.
That's a good number.
It was 10 years ago today, in Fargo, North Dakota, that the IJA staged its first juggling races. Promoted and organized by Jugglers World editor Bill Giddis, they consisted of a 100-yard dash across a football field and a mile run around an indoor track. Since then, the IJA has held juggling races as part of its championships every year, creating a colorful tradition for this ever-growing new sport.
There's that intersection of people who run and who juggle, who find it a very exciting sport and really fulfilling and athletically challenging, as challenging as anything else.
On hand was a good turnout of supporters and media, many hoping to see these guys, collectively known as Team Exerball, set a new world and Guinness record in the 1-mile relay.
I think it was at the Akron convention 2 years ago, or 3 years ago actually, that they put together a team. Owen Morse, Albert Lucas, Tui Wilson, John Wee, those 4 guys decided, why don't we try a 4x400 relay, a 1-mile relay, to see if we can crack the 4-minute mile. They had figured that the 4-minute mile was attainable by 4 guys. And so they tried it there, and I think they did it at 4 minutes and 5 seconds or something. Then the same 4 guys came back to Baltimore, and they were sure they were going to make it, and it was 4 minutes 1.49 seconds in Baltimore. So close, within a second and a half. And at that day, Albert said,
I'd like to say that Sir Roger Bannister, the first human being under 4 minutes, knocked on the door twice and was successful on his 37th. And I'm sure we'll be successful at the next convention.
I think he said in his interview that we will be there next year and we will do it. Well, by golly, they did. Right here in Los Angeles at Drake Stadium, which is a historic Olympic and AAU track. They did it.
You animal. You ran a 60, buddy.
Animal!
It's 2:45 now. They're 1:59 at the half mile.
Hey,
when'd you know you had the world record?
Well, when Tui came in, I knew if we were at least, sub 3:05, I could figure I could do it. But I'm just probably really tuned in.
Congratulations to Team Exerball on a new Guinness World Record and world record for the IJA. 3 minutes, 57 seconds, and 38 hundredths of a second. A new world record, first time ever under the 4-minute mile.
In the women's 100 meters, the winner was Sandy Brown, crossing the finish line in 17.2 seconds, a new women's world record. First place in the men's 100 meter went to Owen Morse with a time of 12.1 seconds. Owen Morse also took first place in the men's 400 meters, crossing the finish line in 57.4 seconds. The women's 400 meters was won by Krista Ripens with a time of
1:15.96.
Krista also took first place in the women's mile with a time of 6 minutes, 43 seconds, and 4, whatever they call them. The men's mile went to Mike Heberend with a time of
5:16 officially.
Mike also took the men's 5K, finishing in 17 minutes and 37 seconds. In the women's 5K, it was Laurie Young, 29 minutes and 15 seconds. The Flamingos, Sandy Brown, Kay Caskey, Laurie Young, and Kathy Glenn took the women's mile relay with a time of 6:54.1. This year, for the first time, there was a juniors 100 meter, proving that it's not as easy as it looks. Meanwhile, back at the Pauley Pavilion, the IJA games were underway. Let's look in on the Baltimore 3-Ball Open, a competition where jugglers show what they feel are the most innovative 3-ball tricks, where drops don't count and anything goes. Now that's my kind of game. There was also a 4-Ball Open.
Okay, this is it. The IJA 5-ball endurance competition. Ready, set, juggle.
Hey, none of that flash stuff. Hey, no flashes, man.
No flash photography, yes.
Thank you.
John, speak to me.
The final two 5-ball jugglers. National champion Cindy Marvell.
Cindy Marvell wins the 5-ball endurance contest.
Another game was the Diablo High Toss. There were speed and distance club passing events.
This ribbon is the obstacle course ribbon. 14:01 seconds is the best.
Way over on the other side of the pavilion, the finals of the Numbers Championships was underway.
Another aspect of the numbers competition is if somebody in our competition does in fact set a world record that would be recognized by the Guinness organization, we are an acceptable judge, and the Guinness group would publish a record that was set here at the IJA Games.
Winning the gold medal, qualifying at 11 rings, And remember, Owen is tired because he joggled. Owen Morse and Bob Mendelson. Qualifying at 7 balls with a total of 52 catches, Jim Schaefer. Up next, Jason Garfield. Individual balls competition with 16 catches of 8 balls, Jason Garfield. Up next, the individual clubs event. Qualifying at the level of 6 with a total of 14 catches, Babo. We have a tie at the level of 6 clubs between Babo and Andrew. If you come to the table, we can do a 1-minute runoff, or you can fight for it.
Wrestle! Fight! Wrestle! Fight! WrestleMania fans!
Do we fight you or?
Winning at 6 clubs, Andrew Sensky with 14 catches.
All I had to do
There you go. Congratulations, Andrew.
Up next, individual competition in ring. Winning the ring competition with 22 catches of 8 rings, Jason Garfield. Up now with 11 balls, Alan Knudsen and David Morton.
Jimmy Schaefer with a time of 14.01. All right, Jimmy Schaefer, our obstacle course man. That's time.
Qualifying with 11 balls and 158 catches, Alan Knudsen and David Morton. Up next, with 11 balls, Barry Friedman and Greg Barnes.
We're probably going to do about 130 to start. We'll do 130 on our first run. We got to go learn 12. Hold on a second.
Qualifying with 11 balls and 102 catches, Craig Barnes and Barry Friedman. Qualifying with 12 balls and 68 catches, establishing the new world record.
Alan Knutson.
Alan Knutson and David Morton.
We have a new technique.
Want a warm-up?
Yes, God, yes. As many as you can spare. In fact, if you guys do it again, we were learning by watching it. Yeah. Isn't this over yet? Look at you guys! This is a hoax. We're going to get him in Cleveland.
Winning the ball passing competition, Alan Knutson and David Morton with 12 balls and 68 catches. The team's clubs competition.
Qualified.
It's on to 11 if you guys want to try it. If not, they beat you by one throw.
I don't think so. I think so. No, seriously.
I believe you don't.
I think it was more like 2 throws, right?
The winners of the club passing competition with 12 throws and 48 total catches with 10 clubs, Owen and John, the passing zone.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Good flailing.
Thank you.
I've never flailed.
After the games, everyone headed outside for a big toss-up photo for Sports Illustrated magazine.
Oh, yeah, I am. I'm totally tripping out.
Later that evening, it was time for the annual IJA public show. This year's show was called the Cascade of the Stars.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michelle Lousier. Michael Menes. Michael? Fred Garbo, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome now the beautiful music of piano juggler, having made 11 consecutive conventions, Dan Menendez. Yes! Rob Salafia and the amazing Dr. Bosco. Mark Nizer.
Thank you.
All right, now, as I say, the moment you've all been waiting for. This gentleman is truly the star of our show, and he comes to us all the way from the Lido di Paris, the fabulous Chris Primo. One of the greatest in the world, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Cremo. Fans of juggling know the legacy that he carries on from his father. We would like, first of all, to present to him a plaque that shows the association's great appreciation for him being here and drawing to a conclusion a wonderful night with his unbelievable talent for people who practice juggling and people who are merely spectators. Here is that plaque. We appreciate it so much, sir. And yes. And the International Jugglers Association Award of Excellence, which gives his whole family legacy here, talks about his start and how he carries on one of the greatest traditions in the art form. And this will be on display out in the lobby. You can read it yourself rather than me going on till all hours of the morning. Chris, thank you. It was a treat to watch you, sir. Chris Cremo.
But our last day wasn't over yet.
Only in its equilibrious state. Enjoy the rest of the show! See you in St. Louis, yeah!
Well, that wrapped up the evening. Everybody got some sleep, and the next day headed home a little tireder, but a lot wiser.
For more information on juggling videos, Jugglers World Magazine, or joining the International Jugglers Association, write IJA, Box 3707, Akron, Ohio, 44314, or call 216-745-3552.
See you in St. Louis, Louis.